I'm Laura Capellabra from No More Ifs or Buts, and whilst I'm not as young as I used to be, I can still talk to you about being a young leader. So I was 26 when I became a client services director and 29 when I became a managing director at a global marketing agency. So even now in my 30s, people still remark, "Wow, you look like you're really young for all you've accomplished." And it's a compliment, and that's how I choose to look at it now. But for a long time, I saw it as a negative. Didn't they believe me? Did they think I wouldn't be capable of doing these jobs? It's easy to doubt yourself when people that have more years behind them question you. But what I've learned is sod them. I know what I'm doing, and they're just jealous that I'm younger than them. And although apparently officially young leaders are up to the age of 30, so what's sadder for me now is that I don't actually class as a young leader anymore, and we don't want to focus on that too much today. Anyway, I thought it'd be useful to pull together some tips for business owners who may have young leaders coming up through the ranks, and for you young leaders yourselves that might help you understand how to navigate your way through the transition. So my first piece of advice is always be prepared for every meeting you attend. So the reason people generally have an issue with age is when they connect it to inability, and that can really easily come across when you ask silly questions in meetings. So ensure that you're always the most prepared person in the room. Read what you need to, speak to who you need to, be the most knowledgeable in the room and have a set of potential questions already drafted. So when I became a young leader, I worked silly hours, and that doesn't mean you need to, but I knew that I wanted to ensure I understood everything fully, which often meant me spending my own time investigating and reading things to get me up to speed with other people in the room. And if you're working with a young leader, help them make this possible. So give them information before meetings. Let them settle into their role before surprising them, and brief them. Yes, I'm very aware good leaders should be good at quick decision making and pressured situations, but if you can, let them work up to that. Let them grow their confidence, and you'll know when their confidence improves. They won't ask you as many questions. They won't feel like they need to check every single decision with you. They'll just act. They'll take action and move your business forward. Imposter syndrome happens a lot with young leaders. The people around them know that they're capable of the role and responsibility, but the individual themselves doubts they are competent enough. And whilst it might not be a particularly theoretical piece of advice, but I can say it works for me, is my dad always told me, fake it until you make it. And if someone else believes that you're capable of doing the job, you probably are. And until you believe you are, just go along with it. Do it as best you can, and you will eventually build up confidence, looking back on yourself thinking, God, that was so easy. Of course I could do it. You have to be confident. And if you're looking after a young leader, remember this, you might have the faith, but they may not. So sometimes confidence generally hides the insecurities doing the actual task in hand. And so be patient, reassure your young leader that you are here and that you have faith in them. And don't run away from them too quick. Let their confidence grow. However, to counter this, be humble and honest. So don't lie about what you can do. Don't put yourself in a position where you can't succeed. So it's not only going to impact you, it would impact your colleagues and the business around you. So by being honest that you don't know all the answers and knowing who to go to who does have the answers is just as big a part of being a leader as the experience. So I'm the first to admit that I don't know everything, but I generally do know someone who can help with every question or problem that I come across. So being a leader isn't just about having experience and being the person who's been in the job the longest. It's about being able to take people on a journey with you, being able to get your team to want you to succeed and you to bring them with you. And as a supporter of young leaders, don't laugh at them for asking you silly questions. Yes, they may have told you that they know it all, but now they know a little bit more, and they know that they know a little bit less than they thought they did. So let them ask questions and even suggest people that may know the answers that they're looking for. You can silently chuckle, but don't ever do it in front of them. This won't help their confidence and will encourage them not to reach out again, and that just spells failure for the business. So be flexible. I realised a while ago that the most important thing in my work life was flexibility, and it sounds so simple, and I was so lucky that I've had flexibility in my work for many years before I'd even realised it was a need of mine. But as I coach others in their jobs, I see how some businesses have such strict working practices. They're scaring off great people. Even those that think they are flexible, they're not truly addressing the needs of many young people, and in particular young leaders. Richard Branson, one of the most famous entrepreneurs out there, encouraged his head office team at Virgin to be corporate for the day. They all had to wear suits, call each other Mr. and Mrs., work 9 to 5, standard old school hours in the office, and they all hated it. And he was reminding his team that this is how some people actually still work. And I imagine probably a little bit of grass isn't always greener as well. But what it shows me is that the world has moved on, that young, innovative people don't want to be constrained. They want the freedom that Branson had previously encouraged in his businesses, and something that can be done in your business too. And one of the most important things to remember is you're never going to learn it all. Be learners. As a young leader, be a promoter of lifelong learning, continuous development, whatever you want to call it, in your team, but also in yourself. If you become a leader thinking you know it all, you will crash and burn. And if you continue through your career, believe that you will always learn more, you will learn more, and you will work better with other people around you. And again, it comes back to being more humble. When working with others, give them the opportunity to continue this learning development. So be positive about them networking and attending courses, and think about hiring a coach for them to help them build their confidence and address any issues that they have if you don't have the time to work closely with them. Reframe your youth. That's another piece of advice. Use it to your advantage, and that's what I do now. So when I work with business owners who are 20, 30 years older than me, my youth is an advantage, and I can see things in a different way. I've got the vigour and the energy that my older counterparts may be starting to lack now, and I also have yet to hit that inevitable plateau in my career, so I'm still driven and on the up, and it's great for supporting a positive can-do attitude. So you know what, I now use the fact that I'm younger than a lot of other leaders to my advantage, and I'm a millennial, and you know what, so are a vast amount of the workforce, and so I'm pretty well placed to know how they think and what they want from a leader. In fact, Deloitte predicted that by 2025, 75% of the workforce will be made up of us millennials. So if you're a millennial, just look around you. How many people are you responsible for that are just like you anyway? Don't worry about your age. It's about knowing what the people and the business want and navigating your way through, bringing the team with you. And I've not seen, read or experienced anything that tells me you have to be a certain age to do this. So I put a lot of time into trying to make myself into a good leader, and as I've been doing this role for longer, I spend more time just doing my job rather than thinking about what kind of leader I want to be and what I need to learn. I'm the leader now, and by putting these hours in when I was younger, it's now paid off. And I can now impress and inspire people when I sit in meetings with them, and there's no longer a concern that I might not be qualified enough, old enough, or experienced enough. And that's partially because I'm not quite as young a leader as I was before, but I've also got a lot more to give than a lot of other people in that room. I still have a lot longer to give it to, and so do you. And if you're interested in developing your skills as a young leader or developing the skills of a young leader in your business, try career coaching. It really will help with confidence. Have a look at nomoreifsorbuts.com for more information and options, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.